This room here was an annex put on by the Historical Society from funds that we received from the Laura Falk estate. Her and her husband were big pushers of the museum. They did a lot of donating and spent a lot of time here. I want to feature the engine here. This is the last one that was made at the 20th Century Building. Gid Miller invented these, and you saw those rolls of blueprints we have back in that case that we talked about earlier. His engine was very unique. He got a lot of power out of it, and Matt Caton owns this here. He's donated a lot of things to our museum, and he can tell you everything about it. But Gid Miller invented this, and they made about 4 or 5 in Springs, and then they went to the 20th Century Building in Boynton, and that's where they built most of those. They were shipped, a lot of them were shipped to Mexico, and also they made trucks that, the trucks were nothing but big cars that they hauled their ore in, and they were shipped down there too. All the boys worked on this, his whole family, and Gid Miller he always had inventions, and we're going to see one of his mining machines he made too in a little bit. But Gid Miller made this area in here, and Joel B. Miller. We're going to see that whole line of Millers. Next, I'm going to move over to one of my favorite things in the museum is the Conestoga wagon. It was built by James Furl in Summit Mills in 1822. You can see on the front hound plate, it has the date 1822 written right on it and stamped into it. John Livingood, it's made for John Livingood. He was known as Bella Hans Livingood. He was known Bella Hans because of his bells. He had 24 bells on his team, and he said you could hear his bells coming forever. He started hauling first as a farmer, and he was called a sharpshooter because they were hated by the wagoners because they would use farm wagons with narrow wheels, and they would cut the pike up so bad. And but they would haul when the farming was down and they got a good load. They could move real fast, and they got top dollar for it. Later, he became a wagoner, and he ran the National Pike in this from 1822 to 1858. It was bought by the Comptons and used as a farm wagon for 60 years. And then Alan Compton donated it to the museum. He was one of the charter members of our museum.